everyone. So Jenson Button here at Chicago Street Circuit. You just did the track walk a couple hours ago. What were your first impressions having to put your feet on the track finally?
It's definitely challenging, as all road courses are. The thing is, here you have some tarmac, which goes into concrete, and then back to tarmac. So it's understanding the changes of circuit, but also there's quite a few jumps on the straight. So you'll feel it with wheel spin in the rear. In the dry, it's not so bad if it's wet. If it's rain and it's wet, it's a little trickier to drive around here, I think. But it's all a big learning curve for all of us. You know, I've driven a lot of street circuits in a Formula One car. Never anything this heavy. You know, to slow a cup car down, it takes a long time. And when you're on a bumpy circuit, you're going to be adjusting the whole way around here. Yeah. So, really looking forward to the challenge. I think everyone is a little bit apprehensive, as always, going somewhere new. But yeah, looking forward to finally tuning the car before we get into qualifying.
And of course, your second race here at Rick Ware Racing. Your first time with Andy Lally as a teammate. He's got loads of sports car experience. How has this relationship been gelling, not only with Andy, but just the team overall in your second start?
Yeah, it's always good the second time with the team, the second time in a category. It definitely, you have a lot more information you've taken on board from that first race. It was 4 hours long in Austin, so lots to take on board with the car, with working with the team. So I look forward, and I'm confident we can make a good step forward from that first race here. It's a brand new circuit for everyone as well, which is great.
Right.
So it's new for all of us. Yeah, I don't have the experience of racing a cup car every weekend like these guys, but we're coming to a track that's new to all of us, so I'm not on the back foot as much as I might have been in Austin.
Yeah, and NASCAR is really thinking outside the box, especially this year. You were in Garage 56, now they're coming to a street circuit, new car from last year. From your perspective, how do you really see the changes NASCAR has made, especially just in these last couple months?
Yeah, I think it's great. You know, you still have the really important races that you've always had in NASCAR. The big important ovals. Most of the races are still ovals, but it's nice that there's a few more street circuits. And yeah, as you said, NASCAR is thinking out the box. You know, we took a car to Le Mans, a 24-hour race, which is nuts, racing against GT cars and prototypes. I think that was really good for the fan base in Europe to get more eyes on NASCAR. And then we come here racing in the streets of Chicago. Some people might not be a big fan of it, but why not? It's a one-off race.
Right.
If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and we move on to the next race next weekend. But if it does work, it might bring a very different fan base. And from what I've heard, 75% of the ticket sales are from new fans to NASCAR. So you'd say it's working. We haven't even turned a wheel yet.
Right. And I feel like people have been coming to you to learn about NASCAR. Maybe people who didn't know before, or maybe people are here who want to know what you think about it. How have you embraced that role of kind of selling NASCAR after a lifetime in F1?
Yeah, it's been fun, you know, and I think the important thing for me to go into Le Mans with NASCAR was that I did a race before I went there. You know, you don't want three drivers that have never driven in a NASCAR race before. So doing that one race before we went to Le Mans was great, and there was so much interest from fans, drivers, teams, you know, watching our pit stops and asking how the car feels out on track. And you know, it was really good. The info I could give them to bring them into the NASCAR world and to understand the NASCAR world a bit better was great. And I think you'll have a lot more eyes on this race after Le Mans. It's the first street course and the first road course since Le Mans. So I look forward to seeing the numbers of people watching the race this weekend.
Yeah. And Shane Van Gisbergen said one of the main draws to NASCAR nowadays is this new car, because it kind of gels more with the international type of car. Like with him, it's Supercars. Do you feel like that's one of the reasons, is that this next gen car is really, it's an interesting beast for a lot of race car drivers to tackle?
It's definitely interesting. It's still very tough for me to get used to. Compared to an F1 car, it's the complete opposite. Yeah. For Shane, I understand it. You know, V8 Supercar, it's actually quite similar. They still have the shifter. It's kind of heavy. And he races on street circuits, so Shane's definitely going to be a guy to beat around here, even though it's a newish car for him. But I really do like it that we have lots of different drivers coming in. Obviously, Kimi Räikkönen, Jordan Taylor, who's a good friend and was in Garage 56. We also have Kamui Kobayashi, who I've raced against in F1 and Super GT and Le Mans, racing in Indy. So yeah, it's nice that it has a bit more of an international feel. You know, you have the true NASCAR fans been here forever, but it's nice to bring in a new fan base.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin said, like, you either have to be leading or really far back to avoid some of the chaos. When it comes to a street circuit, how do you position yourself to kind of think about that, like about how things can. I mean, you were in COTA, you saw how it can get. How does the street circuit, how do you position yourself to get the best result? Is it different?
I think staying out of trouble for the first half of the race. You're getting an incident on lap 1, you hit a wall, it's game over. It's not like you can just run wide off the track, come back on, you're in a wall. So yeah, you got to really, it's a real thinker's race, but the problem is you've got 37 cars around you, so it's not easy. I think everyone's going to be a little bit more chilled here because it is a street circuit. We've got to respect each other, but here you need to respect the course as well, respect the track.
Yeah, and final question, what's your goal for Sunday? I mean, we know you're trying to learn for Indy, you're here to have a lot of fun, but you also want to get the best results. So
Yeah.
What's really your main goal? What do you set out for with a race like this?
Enjoying the weekend, first of all. That's why I go racing now. But obviously we want to get a result, so finishing as high as possible. As a racing driver, you always aim for a win. Whether that's realistic or not, that's something different altogether. So I'm looking forward to seeing where we are in practice and how we tweak the car for qualifying, and obviously the big days tomorrow where it looks like it's going to be wet, which could be tricky, but I'm going to enjoy it.
Hi, I'm Parker Kligerman. For more access like this from Pit Road, be sure to click and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel.